Welcome to Pyrotechnics, the rock and metal music podcast. We take a look at the relevant and irrelevant side of the genres we all love, and hopefully learn a few things along the way. We also throw in some banging tracks as well. So, turn the dial to 11, and let's go for it.
Pyrotechnics is proudly sponsored by Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine. 164 pages packed full of interviews, reviews and features all about your favourite genres of music. Our latest edition is available from our website, fireworks-magazine.com, or visit your local WH Smiths or McCall's. UK subscriptions are now just £32 for 4 issues. Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine, for enthusiasts, by enthusiasts.
Welcome to this festive edition of Pyrotechnics, brought to you, of course, by Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine. Issue 109 has hit the stands, and it's absolutely brilliant, if we say so ourselves, of course. We've got interviews with Toto, an exclusive. You ain't going to find that in any other magazine. They came to us, and we were more than grateful to listen to what they had to say. It's a banging interview. We've got Phil Collum from Def Leppard, another great interview. There's Opeth, there's Skillet, there's tons of stuff. So you know what you need to do? Buy it. You can either get it from our website at www.fireworks-magazine.com, or you can go to WH Smith or McCall's, and hopefully from our point of view, you won't see any of them on the shelves because they're all sold out. But if you do, grab yourself a copy. It really is worth a read. My name is Peter Arnett. I'm going to be your host for the next couple of hours, and I have my two co-hosts as normal, which I couldn't do without. So please give a warm welcome to our deputy editor, Mr. Dave Cockett.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a great Christmas.
And our art editor, Mr. James Gaydon. Hello, James.
Hi, everybody. Good to be back.
As Dave rightly points out, we all hope you had a good Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, because some people don't, we hope you had a good time anyway. So we're going to kick off this with our usual quiz question. This is where I set our two geniuses a question, and they struggle to get the answer, and hopefully they will. Dave is winning this 2-1. James pulled one back last time, I believe. So, James, will you get the equaliser tonight?
Sincerely hope so.
I was going to say, he's not sounding too confident, is he, folks? Right then, chaps, pin back your earlugs. Here we go. Which out of these 5 acts have spent the most time at number 1 over Christmas in the album charts? Now, I've taken this from 1956 onwards, and the information has come from the official charts.com website. So your 5 choices, lads, are Queen, The Rolling Stones, Meatloaf, AC/DC, and T-Rex. That's Queen, The Rolling Stones, Meatloaf, AC/DC, and T-Rex. James is feverishly writing down the question, and Dave's just nonchalantly swinging around on his chair, playing it cool as he always does. We'll give him to the end of the show. Let's be kind. We're going to give him to the end of the show to try and work out which one it is. So let's go now straight into another feature of ours, which we like to call Views on the News. So as you know, on our website, we like to put news of all the bands, of all the groups, of all the genres that we cover, and see what they've been up to. We also get these from the official press agencies. So here's 5 that I've picked out, and let's see what the chaps think of them. So the first one, The Darkness are returning. They're releasing a brand new single, I Hate Myself, and I believe that's coming from a new album that's going to be out some stage next year. Smith and Coates have reunited for Black Light, White Noise, which is their second studio album, out March the 7th. Rock and metal flagship Avantasia announced their 10th studio album, Here Be Dragons. That's going to be out in February 2025 via Napalm. Zombie metal sensation Dominum have released their second single, One of Us, and it has an official music video. And if you've never seen these groups' videos, they are quite impressive, so give it a go. And legendary hard rockers Bonfire return with a new video, I Died Tonight. Very short return then, apparently. And that's out via Frontiers Music now. So, gentlemen, do any of them grab your fancy? James, give us your rundown.
Yes, definitely. The Richie Kotzen and Adrian Smith does. Because,
Thought it would.
As I said on the last episode, I've always liked Richie ever since he joined Mr. Big, and his solo career is great. And when he teamed up with Adrian Smith, I was like, I'm not sure this is going to work because Richie can do pretty much everything by himself, but it works really, really well. The pair of them bounced off each other really well, traded vocals, traded guitars. It was a really solid album. They followed it up with a really good EP. and the tour apparently was very good too. So I'm like, yeah, more of that, please. And they're bringing more of that. So I'm very happy with that. Much more so than I would be with The Darkness, because that's one of those acts that I always thought musically okay, but just a bit of a joke due to how Justin Hawkins delivers it. And when he went off to try and conquer the world as a solo artist and they became the Stone Gods, I thought they were immeasurably better. And then, of course, that only lasted one album. Then they became The Darkness again. So not so fussed about that. Much happy with Richie Kotzen, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a couple of these I take umbrage with, but before I do, Dave, you were obviously shaking your head in the positive for Smith and Coates as well.
Yeah, I can agree with James on that. I mean, I've been privileged. I've actually had the listen a couple of times to the new Smith Coates. Every bit as good as the first one, if not better. So if you love the first one, you'll love the second one, absolutely. And they do complement one another. Two great guitar players, I won't say two great vocalists, but two vocalists that complement one another extremely well on the songs and the style that they use. There's a couple of things in there. Bonfire have come in for a lot of stick since they split from the original vocalist, from Klaus. Some of it justified. I haven't listened to it yet, although I'm down to review it for next issue. But I'll approach it with an open mind. Bonfire they'll always have the millstone of Fireworks, the album, not the magazine, hanging around their necks, because it's their album that they're never going to touch. They're never going to be able to. The re-record, the less said about it, the better. But they'll always have that hanging around their necks. But I'll give them a go. Just the one that intrigues me the most, though, is the Avantasia. Partly because I've got tickets. I'm going to go see Avantasia at Roundhouse in April next year. But the first track, Creepshow, that they released a couple of weeks ago, I thought it sounded more like a cross between Ed Guy and Wigwam than it did Avantasia. But that's just Toby. It's just the humour. It's just a great introduction to what hopefully is going to be a great album. I'm really looking forward to it. In terms of, as I say, the others, The Darkness, I've never been the world's biggest Darkness fan. I can appreciate that they did bring something different, not in the fact that Justin's falsetto was the first of its kind. The Bee Gees have been doing that for decades. But it did bring something to metal. It did become a little bit of a pastiche, a bit of a sort of self-mocking thing. But I think they've come through that, and there's an audience out there that loves them.
It's a difficult one with The Darkness because you never quite know when they're trying to be serious and when they're just trying to be a bit of a parody. Because the last album, was it Easter is Cancelled or something along those lines? I listened to it and I thought, I don't know if I get it, and I don't know if I don't get it, because I couldn't quite make my mind up how much of a piss take they were trying to do. So yeah, they're a weird lot of them.
But don't you think that that's part of the thing that's missing from music these days? A lot of it takes itself too seriously, and the sort of fun element's gone out of rock and roll to a certain degree. And bands like that putting it back, I'm all for.
Yeah.
If they can also carry it off musically, of course.
Which they can.
Yep.
Which they can. I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think sometimes, because you're right, we're so used to now the groups being so serious and so almost deadpanish. You know, we're metal, we're going to do metal, that's what we're going to do, that's what we are.
Yeah.
But when you do get a group like The Darkness that do cross those lines between serious and parody, that you do tend to think, hang on a second, is this totally out of place? And I don't know, sometimes when I just listen to it, I just don't know quite when they're not being serious and not being parody. It's just one of those weird things.
Steel Panther did it for 13-year-old boys. Musically, they're excellent. Lyrically, as I say, they were 13-year-old schoolboys. But as I looked at musically, first couple of albums were very good. It's become very repetitive. But
I think Steel Panther videos were also a big hit with 13-year-old boys. For
I'm sure they were.
Can't quite figure out why. But the other thing as well is Avantasia, 10 studio albums. I don't know about you guys, but I thought they'd done much more than that.
No.
Never been one that's really been. It's one of those that I flit in and out of because of who guests. It's not something I've been sort of like drawn into where I buy album after album after album.
No, I can get that.
No, it sort of slotted in with Ed Guy to start with, and then as Avantasia took off, Ed Guy sort of ground to a halt. So no, we took 10 albums. That's. Yeah, but then again, I suppose I've been following the career since the beginning, so I look forward to the Avantasia album, so I know exactly what I'm expecting, how many and when.
I'm not going to. They are good. They're very good. I must admit. One thing I've got a problem with. So I like Dominum. I really do. I like the group. I like the videos. I like the songs. I've not got an issue with that. One thing I'm a bit pissed off with though is this. this need to try and invent a new genre now, zombie metal. When we're going to have vampire metal, when we're going to have werewolf metal, this is part of the problem, I think, sometimes with our genre is that we just have too many labels. We've had this thing in the magazine, haven't we, with soft rock, yacht rock.
Oh, don't get me started on yacht rock.
And there you go, viewers and listeners, that's exactly what I mean. Too many labels for too many groups. I mean, it's got to stop, surely. I mean, I can understand why they've done it, because if you listen to the music and you watch the videos, you'll understand why. But, now for it to be on the press releases, zombie metal, it's just getting silly now.
Well, the simple thing is, are there zombies? No, so it's just metal, isn't it? I mean, it's like when they say, "Oh, it's pirate metal," right?
Yeah, that's another one that seems to come in over the last 18 months. Pirate metal.
Yeah, and basically, if you take Hailstorm out of that, you're left with a bunch of bands nobody knows.
It's very true. You can't argue.
I guess what's happening now is that they're trying new marketing ploys as bands that new bands are coming along. I kind of get that. So you can say, this is our new band and they're this that you've not heard before. Great, okay, understand that. It's when you get terms like hair metal and yacht rock that get applied to movements decades after they actually were going for real. That's what really gets me.
Well, yacht rock is a terrible one, but it's no worse than soft rock. Right, soft rock is pop. There's no such thing as soft rock. Rock is hard. That's the point.
Well, read Steve's interview in the current issue. He'll tell you what he thinks about soft rock.
Right, exactly. It doesn't make sense, and it's like it's pop metal. It's not pop metal. It's either pop or it's metal.
Yeah.
Sometimes because I still rip my CDs, some of the genres that are listed under it. So this is metal. It's not fucking metal. It's rock, and you just. There's no need for all these subgenres. There's no need at all.
Yeah, but when I were a lad, when Pete were just a twinkling milkman's eye and you were a decade or so away, James, there were only two. They were hard rock and heavy metal. That was it.
Yeah, and what was wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
No.
I mean, okay, there were progressive rock from the early 70s, but then it just sort of exploded. Yeah.
When you look at all the genres we cover in Fireworks, and we don't cover anything like all the subgenres.
No.
We cover all the bases. It's all there. You don't need symphonic, female-fronted, progressive, classical rock. Just one or the other. It doesn't need to be all these. It just winds me up. There's no need for it.
Yeah. I mean, we could split it down to two, melodic and noise.
Well, yeah, basically. Or good and crap.
That works. This is the thing, isn't it? Too many bloody labels. Pack it in.
Yeah, there are. I mean, do you remember that there were things that split off? There were like shoegaze, and there were djent and all this sort of crap that coming out of power metal. And you're thinking, what?
Yeah. There you go, folks.
If you get to a stage where every band is its own unique example of a genre, what's the point? Just use the band name.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I got to admit, it just. I mean, like I said, I like the group, I like the new music, but this need to have a new label, for God's sake, knock it off.
It's marketing. So it is.
Pure and simple, yeah. Yes. Over commercialized, just like a certain other thing that we've just experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So there we go. That could actually be a 60-second rant. So yeah, there we go. That's just 5 examples of the news. And as you can see, it's caused a bit of a debate already. So if you want even more, go to the website, fireworks-magazine.com, and have a look. We get news on pretty much every day. So yeah, fill your boots, basically.
Badass.
And speaking of 60-second rants, this could be actually 60 seconds of love. This could be 60 seconds of praise to the artists or songs or groups or whatever. Not a bloody chance. Not a chance in hell. Basically, it's a 60-second sound off. It's a 60-second rant, and that's what these guys like to do. And to be fair, if you've listened to some of them, they're actually spot on with them. So Dave is going to go first in this one, and his title is There's No Such Thing as a Free Lunch. So I'm going to put 60 seconds on my stopwatch. And Dave, your time starts now.
Okay, you're a band. You're recording a new album. You're perhaps signed to a label that's helping you record it. You get in a studio. You pay for your studio. Get some guest musicians on. You'll pay for your guest musicians. You'll pay for your engineer. You'll pay for your artist to design your cover. You'll pay for a CD pressing plant or an LP pressing plant to press the items for sale. You'll pay a middleman to distribute them. You'll pay a record store or an online store for selling them. So why, when you accepted that everything like that has an associated cost, do you think that publicity comes for free? Now, there are lots of record labels out there, and we've had experience of quite a few of them, that think that we're just there to provide an outlet for them to introduce their music to the world. Okay, fair enough. But who pays for the magazine? The magazine doesn't appear for free. Posting it out to people isn't for free. W.H. Smith don't sell it out of the goodness of their heart. Everything has to be paid for. I mean, this applies to, as I say, to lots of them. But there's one record label and a guy in particular whose name escapes me at the moment. But nothing's for free.
Nothing's for free. It's a good point. It's a good point. We do see it an awful lot in the magazine, don't we, actually, when they come and sort of want this, and this. And it's like, no, it don't work that way. Don't work that way.
Please review my album. Why?
Oh, God, yeah. But the number of messages I've had where our band would love to be interviewed, yeah, I'm sure you would. If you're Iron Maiden, we'd stick you on the cover. Yeah, you'll be an advert in itself. But you're from South Devon and play to 3 guys and a dog in a pub on a Sunday afternoon. Has to be a quid pro quo.
True, very true. Right, we're going to flip over to James now, and I think James is going with the festive spirit a wee bit on this, because his topic title is A Time for Giving. So again, let me just get the stopwatch reset. So James, your 60 seconds on A Time for Giving starts now.
So mine's on a similar thing to Dave about costs, and it's regarding people who say, well, it's too expensive to buy physical CDs anymore. I just stream everything. Bollocks is my answer to that, simply because we've just had Christmas. So I made a big list of albums I wanted for Christmas, and I ended up with 6 of them, and I've got more to come. So you don't have to buy them all the day they're released. Certainly buy your favourites the day they're released, but if you want to support the artist, make a Christmas list. I got all sorts of cool stuff. You know, I want to own this music. I can stream until Christmas by all means, but then I own it, and I've supported the artist as well by getting it. And the ones I didn't get at Christmas, I've got a birthday in February, so guess what? I'm putting some on my birthday list as well. And people have never stuck for what to buy me because I've always got albums I want. So just support the artist. Don't say, I can't afford it, I'll just stream, because that makes you a prick.
Fair play. And under 60 seconds as well. Well done, James. But again, yeah, good points made. Listeners, do you agree with what Dave and James have said? If you do, drop us a comment. If you don't, and you do disagree, you want to raise some of your points as well, then again, drop us a line. Let us know what you feel. Right, let's have some music. What I did was I asked the guys to come up with their songs of the year. We've had the albums of the year, and I said, give us your single of the years. And it's no surprise in my mind that James has gone with the one he has. And to be fair, it's no surprise that Dave has gone with the one he has. But we're going to have James's choice first, and that is the actually wonderful Love Cop from the album of the same name by Royal Republic. And here it is.
You see on TV. I'm not gonna look you up
it. That was the wonderful Love Cop from the album Love Cop by Royal Republic, and a damn good choice. And if you want something that's a bit quirky, we talked about this a bit earlier with one of the other groups as well, The Darkness. Royal Republic, Love Cop. It's a damn good album, but it's not what you probably expect. Now, one of our main topics, but we're going to keep it light-hearted because it's a festive edition. And I've got Moistons to actually blame for this, and obviously some of our viewers and contributors to the website and various whatnots for this one, because I overheard a conversation from someone saying it's been a sensational year for rock and metal music. And I thought, has it? Has it been a sensational year? Has it been a good year? But sensational? Is that taking it a bit too far? Did actually hear people in Moistons talking about this, funny enough. And there are other supermarkets available to shop at as well. Don't just think we're favouriting Moistons, because we're not. But there was a conversation between two blokes about music and how it's been such a wonderfully good year for music. And it kind of got me thinking, because I thought, has it? Has it really? You know, I don't know, James, sensational? Do we agree?
I'm not sure I'd say sensational is the right word, but it's certainly been far from a bad year. I mean, there's been some really good stuff out. I think I've bought more albums in other years than I have this one, but you know, when you look at some of the stuff that's come along, I mean, Deep Purple has still knocked out a corking album at this stage in the career. You've got things that I wasn't even expecting, like Mog's Motel, which turned out to be brilliant. The Sweet coming back with an album, which turned out to be brilliant. There's a bunch of things that wasn't on my bingo card, frankly, at the start of 2024 that have turned up, and you're like, oh, well, that's been a bit of a result. So yeah, I think it's been a good year. Sensational, I think, is a little bit strong, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with it.
I mean, do you think that this year has been better than last year? Because last year we seemed to, I don't know what it was, but last year I thought we had a wider choice. Now, this could be going back to some of the other conversations we've had about no new groups really sort of pushing through, no, you know, relying on the older ones. But I just thought that last year was a damn sight better than this year.
Well, it's the subjective nature of music, isn't it? It's like a lot of the newer bands that have come through, some of them that have been raved over, I've listened to them and I'm like, I'm not really hearing it myself, but you know, that might make me the minority. It's just the way it goes. There's been plenty of things like I've discovered bands such as Royal Republic who have been around for a bit, but I've only just come into contact with them. So yeah, I think it's just there's no shortage of releases. The amount of reviews we've been carrying for the past couple of years has shown that the releases are not slowing down. So it's just wading through them all. So for me personally, I think this year's been probably a tie with last year in terms of the amount of stuff I've bought and what I think. But there's still a lot I've yet to investigate. It's just a matter of time getting through it all.
Fair play, fair play. I mean, Dave, obviously you listen to an awful lot of music as well, and like us, you know, we have genres that we like more than others. I mean, do you think sensational is too strong? Do you agree that it's a good year?
To have a sensational year gets harder and harder every year, because each year you've got another year past where there's been some great music. So was 73 better than 76? Is 89 better than 97? Is 2015 better than 1951? Who knows? And it's a matter of opinion. It's like top 100 albums. Ask two people to give you top 100 albums, you'd be lucky to get half a dozen the same if they don't listen to the same type of music. So it's always subjective. And as James says, I mean, I could cite any year where there's been some great albums that's been released. You talk about oldies, you talk about Deep Purple, and yeah, it's a great album. It was really good to hear Simon McBride inject something back into Purple. Not, to be fair, that I've got anything wrong with the previous couple of Purple releases before that. But Priest have come back with a fantastic album. Saxon have released my album of the year and probably their best in 30 plus. The other end of the scale in the more melodic stuff, Nestor and Remedy, both come up with great second albums, as have recently Fighter 5. Their new album is just tremendous. Sweet, as you said. There are too many to mention, I think, that happens each year. And it always makes me smile a little bit when you'll see them on Facebook, and some of our writers are as guilty as anybody else. Here's my top 40 albums of 2024. Firstly, who cares? Secondly, I struggled to put together 5. I could name you 10, 15 albums that were good, but could I rank them? No, probably not. So I just go back to that. I think that the more years you get behind you, the harder it is to say that this is a good year, this is a great year, this is a sensational year. What's the best year? I've got no clue. Could it have been this? Yeah, there were 10 great albums. Could it have been 1974? Yeah, there were 10 great albums then as well. So I don't know is the honest answer. I suspect probably not as you get older. The younger you are, possibly.
But gut feeling, do you think this was a good year for music?
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that two blokes in Morrison's is discussing it is a good sign.
Yeah, I'd agree in that regard. If you find a couple of randoms in the streets that are talking about rock music, that has to be a positive. They're not talking about some of the latest rap or some of the latest crud that you get in the pop charts. They're talking about real proper rock bands. Well, yeah, that's good. That's a great idea. That's got to be a positive. That's got to be good.
Because one of the things that we said that rock and metal music, the genre, is not as popular as it used to be. I don't want to say it's in decline because I don't think it is. But is it coming back? Is it coming back as strong as it possibly could be? Is it going to be as strong as it was? Do we ever think it's ever going to reach those heights again?
Only if the media get behind it like they used to, because that's basically what happened. There was in sort of like the late 80s onwards, it was nothing but it was the hair metal era, as it's now called. It wasn't called that then, and it was like all you Bon Jovis and Whitesnakes and Motley Crues were all over the radio, and Aerosmith and all that. And then grunge happened, and then we basically entered the sort of Simon Cowell era of, conveyor belt reality show stars. And none of your radio stations, unless you tune in something like Planet Rock, play any rock. They just don't really give a shit. So without that sort of support, you get a lot of people who are quite lazy. If it's not put right in front of them, they don't seek it out. When all these bands were on the radio and on MTV all the time, people are like, oh, I like that. When it's not in front of them, if they won't seek it out, it'll just be whatever's in front of them this week. So until the media gets back on board with that sort of thing, I don't think it'll ever reach those heights. But as Dave said, the old guard are still not having any problems shifting tickets. So there's still quite a substantial fan base for that sort of music there for the moment.
It's one of those things that, again, isn't it? If you're looking at it purely from a monetary point of view, there will never be a time like the 80s. In fact, there will never be a time like the 70s when Zeppelin was shifting serious units and putting bums on seats in arenas ad infinitum in America. But do you look at it from a creativity point of view? It's one of those things, isn't it? If a man offers an opinion and there's no woman around to hear him, is he still wrong? Here we go. No,
here we go.
You've only got to look at YouTube, and YouTube's something that we've all got access to over the last couple of decades. You look on there, the great guitarists, great drummers, great vocalists, they're 10 a penny. Were they always 10 a penny? Quite possibly, but we were never exposed to them because back in the day when there was nothing like the internet, all you'd got was physical product that you had to shell out for and had to come via a record company. And record companies and AR guys acted as filters that said, right, 99% of this stuff isn't worth listening to, so don't. This is what you listen to, this 1%. Now that's all gone, and what we've got the other 99%, but it's now cheaper and easier to make music than it's ever been in history. So not only have you got bands that are just starting out and just got a clue, anybody with a keyboard and access to an AI program can come and say, right, I want to make a song that sounds like this or do that and do a fairly decent job of it. So the music out there that is now available for us all to listen to has increased 1 millionfold. Is it all any good? No, probably not. Most of it's probably generic pap. But there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that comes along that's a variation on the theme that you've heard before, but in a slightly different way that just catches your ear. And I think that the standard of musicianship now is as good as it's ever been, if not better. So you've got to assume that from that, the good musicians will get together to form bands that will create better songs. So I don't know if it's got better or worse in that regard, but it's impossible to tell. It's impossible to say that 74 were better than 94.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So basically, sensational, I think we're going to say not really, but good, definitely. And hopefully 2025 will be a lot better. Because like Dave says, there's a lot more stronger bands now coming, and there's a lot more stronger writers. Let's hope they do indeed now start to live up to the promise, and let's see if we can get rock and metal music up to a higher height than it has been. Fingers crossed. I think that'll be our New Year's hope, that rock and metal music comes back a bit stronger again.
Oh
no! Right then. We did this one a few podcasts ago, and James suggested making it into a recurring feature. So let's do it. This is Flush Down the Crapper of Rock and Metal Music Toilet. So Dave's going to go first. So he's got basically it's another chance for him to have a rant, because I know how much they love having a rant. So go on, Dave. Let's flush your hate down the lavvy.
One of my biggest bugbears, you can bung it in room 101, you can shove it down the crapper, do whatever with it, is people who pay money to go to a gig and then stand with a succession of pints in their hand and shout to the mates while the band are on and pay no attention. Right under my nose. If you want to talk, do you want me to ask the band to stop whilst you're finishing your conversation? Would you prefer to go at the bar, or would you prefer just to fuck off completely? Well, stop doing it. Stop wasting your money. Certainly stop wasting my money. Just don't talk when a band's on incessantly, as loud as you possibly can. It pees me off. So I'd flush that down the crapper.
I think probably James and I would both agree with that as well. It is highly irritating. And I think has happened to us both all three of us many times. Do you think they just gravitate towards you, Dave? Do you think, there's a bloke who don't mind us just standing in front of him talking shite for the next hour and a half?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Perhaps need to change my aftershave, but yeah. That's possibly what it is. But it's just annoying. It's the same mentality that makes people go to the pub and have 10 pints before they go to a football game. Yeah. Why the hell do you want to get out your brains so that you can't remember what you've paid for? What's the point?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
On a serious note, that is absolutely bang on. Should venues stop serving alcohol within the actual music hall itself? I mean, this is another topic. Obviously, we can suggest. I mean, you know what it's like. So I know certain places have no choice because their bar is within the venue. But should there be a ruling that when the bands are on, no alcohol served?
I would say yes, but I'm not a drinker, and the venue would say absolutely not, because that creates revenue for them. And that's exactly. Ultimately what it's all about. But to that point, I remember my brother went to see Alice Cooper a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure his support was Twisted Sister. So it's a pretty visual gig. And this guy was that hammered, he fell asleep during Twisted Sister's set and slept through all of Alice's set. So to Dave's point, what was the point of that? You can get hammered at home. Why pay all that money and miss out on two really good visual stage shows just for the sake of getting hammered? Do that in front of Strictly Come Dancing.
I mean, to be fair, you and I went and saw Alice Cooper, didn't we, Dave? And I think we could have quite merrily fallen asleep during the two support acts as well.
Yeah, quite possibly. Well, you wouldn't have fallen asleep during Alice. No, but I just really don't get why, as I say, people choose to get and you see, and that's another thing that leads off from it at gigs, certainly arena gigs where it's seated. You find yourself in the middle of a row that's about 25 feet long, and incessantly, every 2 songs, somebody wants to get up and go for a pee and bring another pint back. Well, the clue's in that you're putting liquid in one end, it's going to come out the other. Stop doing it. Either that or just cut out the middleman, go to the bar, get the pint and tip it down the bog. It's the whole thing about it. I just don't get some people's mentality.
No.
When they've paid all that money and other people have paid money to see a show or to see a sporting event or whatever, is to just talk over it and ignore it, or get rat-arsed so you can't remember it and you're just an annoyance to everybody else. Mm-hmm. I've seen people that drunk at gigs that they've been ejected, that they've been a pain in the arse and long enough for security to come along and kick them out. Why would you do it? Why would you spend that? Particularly, we even modest gig tickets these days, let alone arena prices. Why would you do it?
I saw it at Quo at Hull City Hall, and this guy got ejected before they'd even got into the first verse of Caroline, which is obviously their opening song. And when I spoke to Rhino, he said, "Oh yeah, that's the record for the fastest ejection we've ever had." When you think how many gigs Quo have played, that's just, what was the point of even going?
I got to admit that getting up and out of your seat every 2 seconds to let somebody pass, it's so fucking annoying. It's like the world's worst Mexican wave.
It is, yeah.
No, look, either get in your seat and stay there, or fuck off until yeah. I know that could be mine actually, but it's not. But yeah, I totally agree. Right, James, what part of rock and metal music are we flushing down the crapper for you?
Right, so it's a slight branch off. I'm putting Robbie fucking Williams down the toilet. Most people say, well, that's not rock and metal. It's the crimes he's committed against rock and metal. So, no, he's come up because he's got his new film out where he's portrayed as a chimp, which I'm taking full credit for because I referred to him as a gaining chimp 7 years ago on Facebook. It's obviously stuck. But not only did he do that abomination with Queen, where he recorded We Are the Champions for A Knight's Tale, and it took him about 7 takes. And when you listen to the finished version, you're like, and that was 7 takes worth. Absolutely appalling. And I remember John Deacon didn't do many quotes, but he says Freddie Mercury can certainly never be replaced, and definitely not by him. And I was like, spot on there, John. Well played. Some of the other people Queen have worked with, somebody like John Farnham. And I remember Brian May once said, oh, it was great to work with a real singer. And I was like, yeah, because you'd previously done something with Robbie Williams. That's the difference. So him getting involved in things like that really wound me up. And then when he was like copying like the Kiss makeup for one of his videos and just generally being a twat. And on top of all that, he's got a new album coming out next year and he's done a rocker on it and Tony Iommi is guesting on the track. And it's just like, I can't wait to not hear that. So I don't know what he's for. He was branded the fat dancer in Take That. And then he went off. He ended up somehow headlining Nebworth, which to this day mystifies me. I can only blame women and homosexual blokes for it because I've never met a heterosexual man yet who likes Robbie Williams. The fawn over him, he's got no good songs to my knowledge. You look at his hits and I'm like, none of them are any good. Not if you used to list like great songs that have come out of the British Isles, none of Robbie Williams' hits would be in there. But yeah, he was filling Nebworth. I don't understand it. And he just won't go away. I wish he would, but no, he's got his movie out where he's a chimp and now he's roping in Tony Iommi to try and do a rock song. And I'm just like, I just wish he'd stop. So he can go down that Kazi. I'll even stick the bob brush to make sure he stays down. Just get rid of him. I don't know what he's for.
Flush him into the Thames with all the other turds. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, listeners. We can safely say, I think, that James won't be paying a visit to the cinema to watch the new film and isn't a Robbie Williams fan in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, obviously, I approach all his work with an open mind, but he's fucking rubbish.
Right, okay.
What about you? Your turn.
Let's hope we don't get sued for that one.
Bring it on. There's not a court in the land who'd find me guilty.
What would I put? Actually, yeah, I do have one. This incessant need of certain groups, and I'm not going to name names, they did an album, then about a few months later, they brought out an extended edition, and then they've just released a deluxe edition. Now, this is getting on my tits. I mean, surely they must know how many songs they recorded in the first place, and it annoys me when they say, oh, we found a lost track. No, you bloody haven't. You knew it were there. You recorded it. You know, I'm fed up, so I was stupid enough to fork out for the second version of it, the extended version, and now they've just bought out this deluxe edition, which I'm not going to buy because it's got about 4 extra songs on it, and I'm just not in the mood for it. But it's getting on my wick. It seems to be happening more and more often. If you look on our news, you get it. So and so has released a deluxe edition. So and so is releasing the remixed, remastered, redone, repackaged, whatever coloured, and it's got 1 song on it, and it was lost. But now we found it. Yeah, you bloody didn't. It was there. You know it was there because you recorded the fucking thing in the first place. You're telling me that you all suffered amnesia after you recorded it, Yeah. Final note, oh shit, where did that go? Don't know, I haven't got a clue. Yeah. Tell you what, we'll find it again in 4 months and re-release it.
It's the modern equivalent of the Japanese bonus track, isn't it?
It's irritating is what it is. Especially, like I say, when you forked out for the first album, then you forked out for the second one, which, you think, well, that's going to be it, the extended edition. There we go, boom.
I think it's an industry thing, though. I think what it is that we can't sell 10,000 copies to 10,000 different people. Therefore, we'll sell 2 sets of 5,000 copies, one with slightly different track listings on to the same 5,000 people. And that's the mentality of it. I agree with you totally, Pete. I mean, you talk about the original version, the extended version, then you get the tour version. That's another one, and it's crap. It's a marketing thing to rip people off. There's no other way to look at it than that. It is ripping people off, and it really is. It's the thing that they shouldn't do. They're ripping off the genuine fans, the people who bought it first.
Yeah, I think. I must say, not every single group does. I mean, like the Threshold ones, they've released Clone and
yeah, but they're 30 years old. To be fair,
that's what I was going to say. The time has passed for them, so you can sort of say yes, fine. And to be fair, Richard West and Carl Group, what a job they've done on the remastering. Absolutely crystal clear, note perfect. You name it, they've got more magic in their fingertips than Harry Potter does in his entire soul. But I don't mind that because, like you said, Dave, 30 years apart. Billy Idol did it as well with. I think it was Rebel Yell, 40 years between the albums. That's fine. What I don't like is this album comes out, a couple of months pass, extended edition, 4 or 5 months pass, then it's the deluxe edition. Bollocks. Utter bollocks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always the same, forgotten recordings. This is a story. I mean, you guys know, this is the rough demo that we did while John was on the bog. And I was messing about using a couple of keys on the mixing desk, which I've never made before, and we've done it. And here you go, is another 3 minutes of warbling bollocks.
Yeah,
and that's what annoys me. And this thing,
that's a great name for a band.
It is. They should tour with Forlorn Haggis.
Whatever happened to them, I wonder. Yeah,
there's
a deluxe edition coming out soon because it's their first anniversary.
Will be, won't it? Yeah.
No one was around. Yeah, but it's one of those things. It does annoy me, and like I said, there's a certain group. I'm not going to name names, but they've done it. And let's say, just look on the news that we put out. You'll see loads of them. But I'm sure it probably gets on everyone else's tits as well as mine. But yeah, they're going down the flusher.
It does. It's not exactly new though, Pete. That's the thing. It's not new. I mean, I remember again back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth and I were a lad. You get a band come along, you get like Kiss, they do 3-4 studio albums and they put a live album out. 3 or 4 more studio albums and a live album out. I mean, Rush, you could set your watch by them. But then it got to the 80s and you got lots of these little labels that came along and you get like, you remember Venom, for example? They're the first example I can think of it. They had 2 studio albums out. Then every other week, there were a live album from There, There and Everywhere Else. I'm not suggesting that they were responsible, but somebody obviously got access to those recordings. So you got 2 studio albums and then you got half a dozen live albums. And Motörhead, they did the same with that because it kept getting licensed around to different places. So it's not something that's new. I think that now it's just got worse.
Yeah. And the way around it is if somebody does do one of these deluxe ones and you want it, buy those tracks digitally. Yeah. That's the hack. But I remember, like to Dave's point, I remember Bad English, they made 2 albums, and then when they split up, they issued the best of.
Yeah, absolute pointless.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, well, there you go. Then there's 3 great examples of basically crap that is now swirling down the toilet bowl of rock and metal music. Well done, chaps. Right, let us have a song again. This is Dave's choice. Banging album, banging choice. Totally agree with it. This is Circus by Sweet from the album Full Circle. Here we go.
All around people drive
What a banging track that is, Circus by Sweet from the album Full Circle. And if you haven't got it, like James's choice, go out and get it. It's an absolute belting album. Really is. Right, a while back ago, well, I tried to get the chaps to do their hairiest hairband members. Now, this is obviously just a bit of a giggle. It was just to try and get people out there on a stage who they've chosen. So we're going to try and do the guitarist today, and I have a sneaking suspicion that there may be one that's pinched by the pair of them. So just to recap, basically they can choose anyone that's got the most flowing locks of hair that they can do in these positions. But someone like Roger Taylor, we're not going to allow for the drums simply because he's more well known for having the shorter hair than he was when he was going through his phase of having the longer hair. Now, needless to say, none of these two are played by the rules, as we would expect. So far, Dave in his group has got Kip Winger on vocals, Animal from the Muppets, which I did allow for the fact that it was just so funny. But there was an argument about this one because James has actually chosen Animal as well, but Dave got it. And Merv Goldsworthy on bass, whilst James has got Joey Tempest on his vocals, Eric Carr on his drums, and basically the walking mop of hair that is indeed Dusty Hill on the bass, which was an absolutely superb choice. So, Dave, go on then. Break James's heart by naming your guitarist.
Yeah. I mean, you're only key into Google. You're key in, I hate the term, key in hair metal guitarist, it'll give you 1,000. I mean, there are obvious choices in there, like your Eddie Van Halen's. Not sure he was all that hairy, but he was a great guitarist. But ultimately, I mean, I went through the likes of Vito Bratta and John Norum. But I came down in the end. There could only be one for me, and that's John Sykes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a good choice. Not the one I thought you were going to go for. I thought you were going to pinch James's choice. So I wonder who that could be. Go on then, James, enlighten us.
Well, as I don't need my reserve one, I can go with my first choice because it's got to be Brian May for me.
What a surprise, Dave and I cry.
Well, the thing is, he's synonymous with three things, and that's guitar playing, big hair, and astronomy. So if like one of his main things, I mean, my reserve one, I did have Slash, but Slash would have been, I could have gone Billy Gibbons and had the two ZZ Top guys. But for me, you know, Brian May, it's like curly guitar lead, curly hair. That's Brian May. Everyone knows Brian May, and he's bloody good, so I'm having Brian May.
Well, I can't argue with any of those choices, to be honest with you. They are absolutely superb. Dave, honestly. The Christmas spirit must have visited Dave because I really thought, I pondered on who to let go first on this one because I thought I could be really kind and let James go first because I knew exactly who he would go for. And then I thought, no, sod it. Dave, you can go first and let's see what happens. But Dave, what's happened to the Dave we know and love? I was sure you were going to pinch it.
I think you pinch Brian May. Nah, because I tried to restrict it to people I thought of as hair metal guitarists or hair band guitarists. And whilst Brian May was hairy and a guitarist, I would never have associated the two, so that was never on the cards.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't associate any of the Queen guys with the hair metal sort of type genre, so I would never have picked any of them.
Fair enough. Oh, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. He's not the Grinch after all. Oh, what a lovely chap he is.
Yes, all right, I've had a day off.
Yeah. Normal service will be resumed next time. Tough luck, James. Now we're going to go on to this, the lyrics game. The guys absolutely love this, so here we go. Right, James, you're up first for this one. Yay! So, as you know, there's two lyrics that the chaps have got to get, and then I'll ask them a question afterwards. One's supposed to be easy, one's supposed to be a bit more difficult, but both of them are supposed to be in their proverbial fields of excellence. So James is obviously rock, whilst Dave is metal. So James, your first one. We are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
Oh, Hotel California.
Yeah, it sounds like Eagles. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. What album did it come from?
Hotel California.
Hotel California.
Well done.
Oh, the very best of the Eagles.
Oh, Eagles Live.
Yeah.
Deluxe version.
Yeah.
What year did it come out in?
Oh, 74?
Close. 70s?
76.
76.
Yeah. Right then, your second one. Just an urchin living under the street. I'm a hard case that's tough to beat.
Paradise City by Guns N' Roses.
Oh, straight in. The man knows him stuff. Yeah.
That one I was all right with. Some more like that, please.
Can I have one like that?
You'll find out soon. What album did it come from, James?
Appetite for Destruction.
That's right. And its release date?
1987.
Oh, spot on. The man knows
arguably the best year for music.
Well, yes, sensational, one may even say. Yes.
That 100% sensational. The amount of corking albums for 87.
Yeah. Yeah. Right then, James, a bonus question for you. So pin back your earlugs. Rumour has it that Slash hated the grass is green line and wanted to be different. What was his version?
I got the faintest idea. I've never heard that before.
So, as you know, it was Take Me Down to the Paradise City where the girls are...
Grass is green and the girls are pretty. Yeah.
That's right. So his line he wanted to actually to say was, take me down to the Paradise City where the girls are fat and they've got big...
Oh, okay. That's maybe why he leaves the lyrics to Axl.
Now, obviously the band overruled him, but why?
Well, it won't have been fat shaming, not in 1987. So it was probably because some record label executive thought it was too crass, even though there was full of swearing.
Yeah, you're pretty much on the right line there. Yeah, they wanted the song to be more radio friendly.
Yeah, I can get that. Because I don't think there's any actual swearing in Paradise City. It's one of the ones that they were all right to release.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Slash's version could have been a lot more X-rated.
All right.
Dave, right then. Your first one. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm singing it in my head. It's Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
That's correct, yeah. Do we know which album it's from?
Four Symbols, Led Zeppelin 4, untitled album, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, well. And the year of release?
1972.
Oh, close. Close. 1971.
Was it one?
It was. Right, your second one. So bearing in mind, folks, that Dave's specialist subject is metal. On sprawling emerald fields, an ancient world of times gone by.
No. Not a clue.
Not going to take a guess?
No. Okay, it could be anything. It could be, I don't know. No. It could be Sweet Child of Mine. I haven't got a clue.
No.
If I'm honest.
Not Sweet Child of Mine. James, any guess?
I know it's not Hotel California by the Eagles. Other than that, I can't narrow it down much.
Yeah, well, you got that one right. Dave, it's one of your favourite bands, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah, Dream Theater.
Yeah. Have you ever tried listening to Dream Theater lyrics and remembering them all?
No. I'm not the metal expert. Right, the Count of Tuscany.
Right.
From Black Clouds and Silver Linings. Do you know what year that came out on?
Oh, crikey, that's 95?
No.
No.
2009.
Is it later than that?
2009.
Is it later than
I've got it down here.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okie dokie. Right, Dave, your questions. Another question.
Yeah, there's only, you get to my age, Pete. There's today, there's tomorrow, there's yesterday, and there's a long time ago. There's just four.
He gets it wrong, isn't there, James? When he gets it right, he's... when he gets it wrong, out come the age excuses.
Sure.
Right then, Gramps, your follow-up question is, the lyrics to the EP album A Change of Seasons, which was 1995, were written by Mike Portnoy, as we all know. What tragic event caused him to write these lyrics?
I don't know. I've ever heard that one either, Pete. If I'm honest with you.
The EP? Yeah.
95. I mean, it's...
Well, he wrote the lyrics... I'll give you a clue. The incident happened in 84, but he wrote the lyrics in 95.
It happened in 84. No, still none the wiser.
It was the death of his mother in a plane crash.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was so the EP I think is about 25 minutes long, if I remember right, and he wrote all the lyrics. A sort of a session for that, which.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
A fantastic piece. To call it a song seems to be doing it a disservice. A fantastic piece of music. Change of Season.
Yeah, I agree.
Seen them do it live a number of times. It's incredible to watch.
I certainly agree with that. Right. Well, there you go. Our experts.
Or not so much.
Leave it at that, shall I? Right, we're going to have another little mini topic. So see, we can blame my son for this one, actually. I said to him that I had, I was talking to my wife, and the conversation of, have you ever cried at a rock or metal song? Or something in a rock and metal song ever made you cry came up. And I said yes. And my son went, oh, I've never cried at anything to do with music. So I smacked him on the back with a box set, and he certainly started crying then. But that's possibly not, where we're going with this. So I'm going to ask the guys, have you ever cried because of a rock or metal song? And we're going to have James. Tell us your tales.
I cried when I heard Robbie Williams was working with Tony Iommi. But
you just knew it was coming, folks.
But as a song made me cry? Yes and no, because I'm a bloody bloke. But no, I do have Eric Martin's Somewhere in the Middle album is my go-to. Well, it was my go-to album for like Trouble with the Ladies, because I remember covering it years ago, like a retrospective, and he was like, "Yeah, that was my divorce record." So all the songs are about that sort of thing. So whenever I was going through it, that was what I'd listen to. So I don't think I ever blubbed, but that I used to sit there sullenly, just nodding, going, "Yeah, Rick, yeah." Because literally the first line on that album is "Love is overrated. I'm afraid it's one big joke." So if I was feeling particularly maudlin and down, I'd go for that album. But I can't think of anything I actually cried at. No, not to date, anyway.
So then, Dave, go on. Have you ever blubbed at a rock and metal song?
Well, like James said, my first reaction was, I'm a bloke, we don't do that. But there is one, thinking back, that doesn't do it every time, but sometimes the lyrics just hit home, and that's The Living Years, Marking the Mechanics, because I can relate the lyrics in the story to my relationship with my dad, and he's no longer with us, and you think of all the things that he perhaps could have said. So yeah, that would be mine. Yeah,
no, I can understand that one. The one I was thinking of was Those Are the Days of Our Lives by Queen. Freddie Mercury's last appearance, because, obviously so used to seeing him with the moustache, so used to seeing him being full of life, and then in that one, it's such a harrowing sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that gets me every single time I see him. So there, I don't know all this we're men crap. Come on.
We're just a bunch of big crybabies, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's more like it. 2024, we're in touch with our feminine side. Come on.
You touch your own feminine side, you're not touching mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dave, our deputy editor. Right, so let's have a song. Let's have happy memories now. So let's have a song. This is my choice for Song of the Year. My favourite album was Finding Love in Strange Places by Prehistoric Animals, and this is off that album. And this is Living in a World of Bliss.
White
So there we have Living in a World of Bliss by Prehistoric Animals. Time for a quick partner advert.
Pyrotechnics is proudly sponsored by Fireworks Rock and Metal Magazine. 164 pages packed full of interviews, reviews and features all about your favourite genres of music. Our latest edition is available from our website, fireworks-magazine.com, or visit your local WH Smiths or McCall's. UK subscriptions are now just £32 for 4 issues. Fireworks Rock and Metal Magazine. For enthusiasts, by enthusiasts.
Okay, so now we're going to come to the quiz question answer. As you remember, I set the two chaps a question at the beginning of the episode, and let's see if they spent the time wisely and got the right answer. So the question was, which out of these 5 acts has spent the most time at number 1 over Christmas in the album charts? Now, I'm discounting compilations such as Now This Is What We Call Music 9,047,000 that have a load of songs from different artists. But greatest hits albums will be allowed because they were actually released by the artists themselves. So the choices they had were Queen, the Rolling Stones, Meatloaf, AC/DC, or T-Rex. And let's have Dave first. Dave, drop us your knowledge.
I suppose what you've got to do is that Queen's greatest hits, for example, would have been a perennial seller at every Christmas. You would see it advertised, you would see it being released again, and people buying copies that hadn't already bought copies before or had bought one and worn it out. But I would always come at this from the amount of time that bands were popular. T-Rex were incredibly popular for a 2-3 year period in the early 70s, but not really that much afterwards, not to warrant getting number ones. So I'd always go back, if I didn't really know the answer and hadn't seen the figures, I would go back to who's been around the longest, and I would still go with the Stones, Rolling Stones.
Okay, so Dave is going with the Rolling Stones. James, what have you got?
For me, as Dave said, Queen's Greatest Hits is one of the UK's best-selling albums, and Bohemian Rhapsody was Christmas number 1 twice, in 1975 and in 1991. So I would think that because that got to number 1, it would give a bit of a kick up the arse to the back catalogue. So I'm going to say Queen.
Okay, so James has gone with Queen. You're both wrong.
What a shock.
Absolutely superb working out that. But totally wrong. Right, Queen have spent 9 weeks. They had 2 albums that were number 1, and they were A Night at the Opera and Greatest Hits Numero 2. The Rolling Stones, 5 weeks, and they've only had 1 number 1 album at Christmas, which was the latest one, Hackney Diamonds. AC/DC have spent 0 weeks at number 1 at Christmas. And T-Rex have spent 8 weeks at number 1 with 1 album, which was Electric Warrior. So your winner with 11 weeks with Bat Out of Hell 2, Meatloaf.
Well,
Enough.
I did not see that coming.
No, I can't say I saw that one coming either.
Now, of course, there is one act that has spent loads of time at number 1 at Christmas. Can you guess who they are?
What, with an album?
Albums.
Albums spent number 1 at Christmas. Well, Slade would have been mine in terms of Merry Christmas Everybody as a single. Because, I mean, it's not the oldest pension fund.
That was the first thing that came to mind for me.
No, it's not Slade.
You said band, not artist, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So that's going to rule Cliff Richard out, because he'd be another one.
Somebody had loads of albums at number one at Christmas.
Because my first thought then would be like Cliff Richard, Michael Bublé, Mariah Carey, those sort of people synonymous with Christmas. But you said band, not artist. So who else does that leave?
Again, I come back to bands that have had compilation albums out that have been. So that then made me train of thought go towards somebody like Eagles.
No. I did say which year that I started this quiz from at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you on the end of the nose if it ends up being Mr. Fucking Blobber.
Oh, bollocks.
Oh, hang on then. So you said we're going back all the way to the 50s, didn't you? Elvis.
Oh, close. Double one. Double lot that were really popular around the 50s and 60s. British lot.
Kinks.
Came from Liverpool.
Beatles.
That's the one. Yeah, the Beatles.
50s.
Absolutely flattened it all. They've actually had quite a few number ones, but like you said, because of the taken out of the compilation album, they still flattened everybody. They've had over 64 weeks at number one in albums. There you go, the Beatles. What do you say to that?
I'll tell you what I say. If they've spent that many years at number one, or that many weeks or whatever, how come Paul McCartney came up with one of the worst Christmas songs ever written?
Yeah, and on that note, I think we'll stop the quiz very quickly.
That was almost my rant of the week, but I chose to go with something else.
Yeah, there's been some superb Christmas songs, and then there's been some complete and utter turkeys, and yeah, I think that's possibly a topic for another session, that one. The worst ever Christmas number one. Dear God, yes.
Anything with Simon Cowell's name associated with it for a start.
Hello, here we go. Lawyers, put down those sharp knives, please. So there we have it. That has been the festive edition of Pyrotechnics, and we thank you for joining us. Don't forget again, issue 109 of Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine is on sale. Please go out and buy it. It is an absolute belting issue. We say it ourselves, but it really is. Some great names in it and more metal content as well. We listened to what you guys said. You said you wanted some more metal groups in it. Dave as well is a massive metalhead, so he's been all over that, pushing hard now to get more metal acts in the magazine. So keep your eyes out. He's not going to drop any hints as to who we've got in the new one, 110, but knowing Dave, he's working hard behind the scenes to get some absolute massive names in for your enjoyment.
Yeah, there's no Simon Cowell, no Mr. Blobby, and no Mariah Carey.
There you go. It's an exclusive on Pyrotechnics. No Mr. Blobby in issue 110. Anyway, gentlemen, as ever, it's been an absolute delight to talk to you. So I'm going to let the chaps say goodbye. So goodbye, James. I hope you enjoy your New Year's, and we'll see you again afterwards.
You certainly shall. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. See you in 2025.
And David, again, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Hope 2024 has been good. Hope 2025 will be even better. And we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us on this silly festive edition. Hope everybody has a great new year. Comes out it fighting for some great more music next year.
Indeed. And we promise that we will be a bit more frequent with these podcasts. We've let it slip a wee bit. Going to have a talk with the chaps about how often we're going to release them, but hopefully it'll be a lot sooner than we have done in the last few recent months. So keep your ears peeled. We'll obviously advertise them when we do. But I've been Pete Anna. I've been your host. And until next time, keep yourself safe, keep listening to the music you enjoy, and above all, keep reading Fireworks Rock and Metal Music magazine. See you all later. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, please do us a favour and subscribe, like or follow, depending on what platform you're listening to this on, this channel, because it really does help us to grow as a brand. And obviously, the better we get at this, the more followers, the more likes, and more subscribers we get, we can try and get better guests on, which obviously makes for a better programme for you guys. So again, please follow, like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you.